Ready? Hi, my name is Matt and I work for Tin Mountain. This is on closer inspection, and today's date in the spring is April 14th. Each time we do these little videos, we focus on some sort of sign of spring or spring to come. I thought we'd look at tree flowers again today. A couple weeks ago we did the red maple, and we looked at those male flowers that were almost in bloom. Today we're looking at a gray birch. All of the birch trees, gray birch, paper birch, yellow birch, they have these drooping flowers that we call catkins. And all the birches have male and female catkins on the same tree, but they are separate flowers. For starters, gray birch grows exclusively in open, sunny habitats, such as a field or a meadow like this one. And it looks very similar to the paper birch, which can be kind of confusing. But the gray birch has a very tight white bark, so the bark doesn't slough off or peel off like it does on the paper birch, because they are both white, so that can be confusing. So remember, it's a tighter bark. And also, though, look for the mustaches. So we're kind of focusing in on here on those big black streaks. You can imagine them as kind of like the fake mustaches on a Halloween disguise there. We call those the nickname is the mustaches, and it's a good field marker for a gray birch, along with the tight white bark, because the leaves, the flowers, the seeds will look very similar to the other birches, including the paper birch. But if we look here, the flowers to be, remember this has male and female flowers, and the male flowers are the most conspicuous. And I'm going to try to find a male flower here. Here's one. And they're very elongated, and it's actually not in flower yet. So what you're seeing, this brown stuff right here, are the scales. You can almost see a little bit of the green coming through here, and if I split it there, this is where the pollen will come from. Remember, the pollen always comes from the male flower. And if you have allergies, depends on what kind of trees you're allergic to, but some of that pollen might give you a stuffy nose or a stuffy throat there. The female flowers are very hard to find. But you can find the old ones from last year, which have gone to seed, so technically they're really seeds now. And the birch seeds, you can see these are the scales, and the lighter colored things are the actual seeds underneath the scales. All you got to do this time of year is just kind of take one and just kind of rub your fingers together. It's kind of fun. And get rid of the scales there, and all those little things are the seeds. And if you look really closely at the seeds, you can actually see they've got a little wing because they are wind dispersed. You can see they fly pretty easily there. So that came from the female flower. The female flowers are really tiny, and I'm not seeing any right now. Yeah, we're not finding any, but again, these are the male flowers. So what you should do as a sign of spring, if you're keeping track of spring, we'll find one here. Here's one. Is just keep an eye on these. When you see them in this state, check in every few days, especially if it's a warm day. And one of the days you'll see these scales loosen up, and it'll actually, as it loosens up, the whole flower will kind of elongate. And you'll see sort of these greenish yellow flowers, kind of droopy things. Those are what we call the catkins. And flick them like that, and you'll see the pollen dust just go everywhere. And hopefully they'll find another tree, so that we get some cross-pollination and pollination, and and voila.